Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ride with Lance. And today I am on the Velotric Summit 1 eMTB. Yep, electric mountain bike. And I figured it was about time to do the riding review of this. Now you may have seen me already have done videos on this where I've taken it mountain biking on a mountain bike trail and just riding around. Video on the update of the firmware. But on this bike, I just really wanted to get to know it better first before I did the actual review. Give you my thoughts on it. So that's what we're going to do today. As we take a ride on my favorite local bike path on this very hot September day. So this is the Velotric Summit 1. And I'm not going to read a bunch of specs off of it because I want to give you the rider experience. But a few things you might want to know is this is a 750 watt rear hub motor. It's got a 48 volt battery, 90 Newton meters of torque. It's got a 8-speed cassette with an Altus derailleur. And it comes in two versions, all in one bike. Torque sensor or cadence sensor. You choose. But you will need the app to make those changes. They haven't put it so you can just do it with the buttons yet. But today, or at least for right now, I am riding in the torque sensor. So I have done some modifications to this bike, minor modifications, to give it a more comfortable riding style, or riding position for me. When this comes to you, it has regular mountain bike handlebars that just have a little rise. So you're really hunched over, really hunched over. And that's not the kind of riding position I like. I like to be a little more upright, so I haven't gone too high up. This has got these bars I put on here have a 3.5 inch rise on them. And I did change the handlebar clamp. It has a little rise on it too. But just enough to get me into a more upright riding position, more comfortable position, but not too high that it diminishes its mountain bike prowess. And another good thing about the Summit 1, which I really wasn't expecting, is this actually also makes a great commuter bike. Once I did the little modifications I did to get it in a little more upright riding position, this kind of rivals the Velotric Discover 2 for commuter e-biking. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So if you're looking for an e-bike and you're trying to decide between a commuter e-bike and a eMTB, an electric mountain bike, or maybe even a cruiser, this is one you might want to take a look at, because for commuting and mountain biking, you've got it all in one package. You really do. And this bike will get you up to about 31 miles an hour. You have to do a little pedaling to get up that high. But if you want to use it for commuting to work, there you go. There goes a guy on a fat tire cruiser. He went by too fast. I don't know what he was riding. But I could definitely hear him come up on me. So yes, this is basically two bikes in one. And now that they did the firmware update, I'll talk about a little more about that in a second. But now they did the firmware update, that gives you the option of cadence sensor or torque sensor. It's really, really hard to beat. It really is. And they've done the same thing for the Discover 2. So if you're looking at the Discover 2, you'll get torque sensor and you'll get cadence sensor. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Really, no matter what bike you pick. But today, it's about the Summit 1. So, what is it I like about the Summit 1? Well, you know what? Just like the Discover 2, it is quiet. You might hear a little squeaking, but that's just the springs in my seat. Because I did put a suspension seat post on it, the Sun Tour suspension seat post, and I still got my old seat, and it has springs on it. So it's those springs that you're doing that little squeak when I pedal. But it is a quiet bike. It is quiet on the pavement, and it is quiet on the trail. You don't get a bunch of anything bouncing and rattling around. It's one of the things that I really don't like on some e-bikes, is they just got wires hanging everywhere. You know, the kickstand is loose. You hit a little bump and rattle. It sounds like a bucket of bolts. But this, it's just quiet, even on the dirt. I mean, I mainly hear the gravel crackling underneath the wheels. Nothing rattling around. I really like that. Now, what else do I like about this? Well, you know what? The overall design and craftsmanship of this thing is just outstanding. I got the blue color. It's got a little flake in the paint. Sparkles in the sun. But the craftsmanship, the welds, the finish, everything about this bike, just standing back and looking at it, it just looks fantastic. But the other thing I like about it, now that they've done the upgrade to the firmware, there was a problem in the beginning with power in the PAS levels, and all the PAS levels. The first time I took it out mountain biking, it just, no matter what PAS level you had it in, it just didn't feel like it was giving you any power. You'd see the power on the bar go up a little, but it was giving you barely nothing. So a lot of those times, I had to use the throttle. But now that they did the firmware upgrade, like they promised they were going to do to a lot of people, you've got good power in every PAS level. Usable power. Let's put in, I'm in PAS 2, now I'm in PAS 5 in trail mode. And yes, it does give you good power when you need it. And when you're mountain biking, trail riding, off-roading, you need that. For those uphills, for those tight sections. You don't want to be using the throttle. And even on paved trail like this, even though it's a torque sensor, I'm in still at PAS5. That's another thing I'll have to talk about in the display. I'm giving it some leg muscle, and it's doing just fine. It's giving me some back, just like it should be. The display is fine, but if you wear polarized sunglasses, you can barely see it. So there's a lot of times I'm lifting up my sunglasses so I can see exactly what's going on down there. But I do think companies start to make that film you can put over it that will get rid of that. So if you do wear polarized sunglasses, you'll see your display just fine. But Velotric, maybe that's something to look at in future releases. Now, the other thing I really like about this is this comes with Shimano disc brakes. They are Shimano hydraulic disc brakes. And they work a lot better than the Tektros. Tektros are good brakes, but these work a lot better. I mean, here we go. Right here. See that? And that was just barely locking up the back end. It stops quick, it stops nice. So I don't know, maybe there'll be a Shimano upgrade on some of my other bikes. But yes, they do work really great, and they work even nicer when you're mountain biking. The front forks, 120 millimeter hydraulic forks. These do, and they're adjustable. You can adjust the rebound. And they do a great job on the bumpy stuff. And with that extra travel, it just helps smooth out that ride even more. And when you add the suspension seat post to it like I did, you're talking about a really comfortable ride. Now I know with mountain biking, you know, you're gonna want a dropper seat post, and you spend most of your time standing up, or not all the way standing up, but your butt off the seat. But if you want to use this as a commuter, or for riding like this, where you're sitting down most of the time, get a suspension seat post. It really does make a difference. Now, are there some things I don't like about this bike? Maybe a couple, but nothing that would stop me from buying it. The first one for me is the reach. It's still just a little too far forward, but not anything I can't deal with. And what is another thing? It is when you're charging the battery. It seems that if you pull the battery out to charge it, it only gets up there to like 95%. But if you leave the battery in the bike and charge it that way, you'll get the full 100%. I'm not sure what's going on there with that, but I just leave it in the bike now, charge it up. Now, is there anything else that I can think of that I don't like that I think could be improved on? Yeah, it's the brake light. It does have a brake light, but it's got this weird clamp that seems to only work on the Velotric seat and seat post. Not anything else. I can't put it on the suspension seat post. It just won't work unless I customize some type of a bracket for it. So right now I'm not riding with a brake light. So what I did is I just disconnected it. It snaps together just like all the other connections, and tucked it down inside where the seat post goes. But other than that, I'm going to turn around here. Other than that, there is nothing else I really don't like about this bike. There could be one other thing. It's these grips. These grips are comfortable when you're wearing gloves. But if you decide to ride without gloves, they just make your hands sweat. So if I decide to not wear gloves anymore, I'm going to have to change these grips up. All right, let's keep going. Let's go down here. I am going to do some just like fire road trail riding right here. All right. Do a little trail riding here. Nothing too crazy today. But, you know, this is what this bike is great for. When you want to get off the beaten path and you want to take the rougher stuff. Now there is another thing that I wish they would have done, and that was make these tubeless ready tires. These are tube tires. So I did go ahead and put flat out in them just in case. But there would be a lot more peace of mind if they were tubeless. Mainly when you're mountain biking. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of cleanup around here. Last week it was up on the trail, now it's down here too. But yeah, the Velotric is just an all-around, I think, great bike. Especially if you want to off-road or commute. They do make a rear rack for this, for those of you who do want to use it as a commuter bike. No, nothing for the front basket. I don't see any mounting holes up there for it. And with the 90 Newton meters of torque, this thing will get you just about up any hill. Now I'm not going to do any hill tests here today. I just don't have any steep hills nearby. So, would I recommend this bike? if you're looking for basically a dual sport bike, one for mountain biking, one for commuting, one for just cruising around your neighborhood, yeah. If you're looking for that, I would recommend this to you. Put it on your short list of bikes to check out. Now you can use my link in the description to go to the Velotric website if you want to get more information on this bike or any of the bikes they have. Or if you're one who's considering the Summit 1 or the Discover 2, you can go there and compare side to side. They got some good information there. There's also a discount code for you to use if you do decide to buy, because, you know, hey, some money off means a little more you get to keep in your pocket, right? All right, I hope you enjoyed this little ride with me on the Velotric Summit 1 mountain bike. So I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great ride, and I will see you on the next adventure. Bye.